It's been 23 years since undercover agent Brian O'Connor received a danger to manifold message on his tuning software during his inaugural race against Dominic Toretto, which ultimately led to a catastrophic loss of floorboard. And 23 years later, I am still confused. So we come all the way out here to Bowling Green, Kentucky at Jesse's garage to learn how to tune and figure out what in the world went wrong with his floorboard. Also, LS is for the win. Nothing's better than a good carburetor, right?
Oh, well, not anymore.
But before we hit the road to Bowling Green, Kentucky, we have some much needed upgrades to install on our commuter car. So on top of some LED goodies that are going on the 20-year-old Corvette, we also have some fresh rubber. 24-hour round trip drive on run flats that are also almost bald because tire wear. Regardless, it's time for some upgrades, starting with those. Now, I do not condone putting LEDs in reflective housing headlamps, just because of the glare you give oncoming drivers, but the C5 Corvette is so low to the ground, the amount of glare is gonna be minimal to none. Plus, I need to see when I'm driving overnight. You can't see with those. Trying high beam now. Oh, that's a lot better. Super happy with my last minute impulse purchase because I realized I gotta drive through the night. And I did it once before with this car and it's miserable with the stock headlamps. Yeah. My only gripe about these tires so far is the sidewall. Tires actually run way narrow versus a Bridgestone or a Pirelli, and I'm not a fan of the stretched look. Let's be honest, my rear tires don't last very long anyways. We'll see you guys bright and early in the morning because we got a drive all the way from here in the Lone Star State of Texas to Bowling Green, Kentucky, the home of that guy right there actually. Some beautiful sunshine rain. It hasn't rained in months. And it just finally decides to rain on the day we're trying to hit the road. Picking up the Sarge, got a long drive to Bowling Green. Ready to go to Kentucky? Ready. Not a lot more Texas than a Buc-ee's bag.
Yeah.
All right, Mom, thank you for letting me borrow your husband.
Yes, have fun.
We're gonna go learn how to tune a car, and hopefully we're driving this one back home. We are 3 hours into our 11-hour drive. We had to stop for a little bit and work, and we're back on the road again. And we are taking our prerequisite course for the tuning school that starts tomorrow. A lot of the upfront stuff is fairly basic about engine knowledge, and fortunately, he's been around it forever. Because he's been around it forever, I grew up around it. But the tuning stuff, man, we're in for a whirlwind on this trip. I'm excited to learn this.
Okay, let's try. I think it's neither A or B. Oh, they're all incorrect.
Is there another option?
Oh, hold on.
Scroll down.
Hey, there's an option D.
Boomer! Trying to take a quiz on a smartphone. That's hilarious.
Feel like we're Smoking abandoned.
Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking.
20-year-old Corvette does it again. 27 miles a gallon on this commute, flawless. Welcome to Bowling Green, Kentucky, Holly LS Fest East, actually on Friday, but first we gotta learn how to tune things like this, which is the whole reason why we are here. We'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow at Jesse's garage, up that way like 15 minutes. First day of school. This was a school I actually wanted to go to. This is exciting. And the selling point for this hotel was the free continental breakfast. Woo! Only reason he wanted to go on this one. We can't take a dirty car to the first day of class. Okay, we found the place. Monte Carlo too. That's actually an Australian car.
This one is?
Holden Commodore. But in the US, they couldn't come up with the badge name, so they just said Super Sport. But it's got the engine from a Corvette. I really want one of these cars. So guys, I can't express how excited I am today. I've been talking about learning how to do what we're gonna be learning over the next 2 days for a decade. And I'm stoked to be here. But I first need to say thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Element, for keeping me hydrated regardless if we're outside working on the shop in the scalding sun or learning in one of the most testosterone boosting classrooms on this planet. Staying hydrated is incredibly important mentally and physically, regardless of what you're doing. And that's heavily based on electrolytes. Headaches, brain fog, weakness, we've all been there, but Element helps me stay hydrated without any sugar or other dodgy ingredients found in other sports drinks. I'm a big fan of supplements because it's a lot like a purpose-built car. It's formulated of fine-tuned parts to deliver on a purpose, and in Element's case, that's optimal hydration. Each stick pack includes 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. You feel the difference when you get it right. And by the way, the citrus salt flavor, freaking amazing. So do me a huge favor, guys. Go to drinkelement.com/LoneStar or click that link in the description below, because with any purchase, you can get yourself a free sample pack. And there's no risk to that purchase, because if you guys don't like it, they return it, no questions asked. Thank you so much to Element for sponsoring today's video. Let's go ahead and figure out how to squeeze some more horsepower out of these 8-cylinder machines.
I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets.
The class for tinning is put on by the Tuning School, which utilizes HP Tuner's software. And how they set up the class, day 1 is very classroom-like setting learnings, where day 2 is more hands-on, where you physically tune that Corvette you see there sitting in the background. All right, hour into our first class, guys. This is the type of stuff I actually like to learn. I'm totally engaged and having a blast. It's actually starting very basic, and it goes through more advanced kind of real-life scenarios. You got plenty of notes.
Look at the back of the intake valve, you'll see fuel droplets actually hitting that, which cools the intake valve, which is why you actually don't burn intake valves. Pay attention to the color of the burn. You see it's orange here, clear, kind of blue over there, right? What does that tell you about the temperature of the flame? It's hotter over towards the left because the hottest flames are clear or blue. What does that then tell you about how that piston is getting pushed back down? It's getting pushed down a little more on the left, kind of rocks down like this all the way down.
Now, this is just a quick example of some of the learnings from the first day that actually debunked a lot of the myths I had grown up with believing. We spent a good amount of time talking through, 1, the octane of fuel and how it works in conjunction with a specific tune on your engine, and 2, the timing of the spark from your spark plug. Having a higher octane of fuel doesn't necessarily mean more powerful ignition or even more power, even if it's race gas. If you look close at this awesome camera shot, you'll see the spark plug actually ignites well before the piston is all the way up at the top of the cylinder. The octane of the fuel will impact the rate at which that fuel burns, meaning the timing of the spark needs to be optimized based on the fuel.
Fuel that burns very slowly maybe has too much octane for your application. Steven, how do you want to proceed, my friend?
You know the most tuned vehicle in the world is what? Silverado.
Yeah, wasn't surprised to hear that. Best truck in the world. Next, we dove straight into the HP Tuner's VCM software, both the VCM scanner and editor, which are the software programs available for download on HP Tuner's website for free, actually. All you really need is one of their OBD2 interface devices or their scanners, and you could really do this yourself. Although I do highly recommend taking some training or the class first, because you can blow up your very expensive engine if you do not know what you are doing here, and I have no idea what I'm doing. We're about 3/4 of the way through the first day, and talk about drinking from a fire hose, guys, but it's information that I want to consume so badly. Now, the initial file we're walking through as a class is his file for his C6 Corvette that's highly modified. So he has a Pro Charger on it, new injectors. It's a completely built motor, so it's a very unique situation, but we're able to walk through step by step exactly how you go about tuning this car if it were to pull in your shop. Highly unlikely for me, because I'm wanting to tune my own stuff, so I know what's on there. But in this situation, they're pulling up a stock file for this vehicle and then walking through step by step, refining that tune. And I think we're gonna hit the dyno here in a little bit, but my goodness, this is incredibly complicated. The HP Tuner software is very intuitive, but I'm having a freaking blast. But my brain is like throbbing. There's so much information. These guys, they know what they're doing, and that's for sure.
See, the older guys think more like potato. Yeah, see, he's smiling back there. He's starting to smile. He's like, yeah, buddy.
I cannot wait to get back and start playing with the C5, because this is a base LS1 stock tune. There's so much little refinements we can do to a stock file, which will actually make this thing run more efficient, more economical, but more importantly, put down more power. So that's the end of day 1, guys. We spent the entire day just kind of learning the basics and going through fairly complicated scenarios to land on a specific tune, which you saw there at the very end. We actually started and idled. Tomorrow we're gonna be spending a lot of time on that dyno. My brain hurts though. That was a lot of info. It's like, is that what people feel like when they learn math and English at school? I enjoy learning. I'm like, I am dying for this. I could sit there all day. You can definitely tell LS Fest is around the corner.
Yeah.
That's a little bonus content for you guys because in 24 hours, LS Fest starts here in Bowling Green. So we're actually going to be heading up the first day of LS Fest in addition to the tuning school today. But today's going to be epic because it's Dyno Day today. Day 2, guys, welcome back. Starting today off with my Christmas gift. Is that better? There we go. What I'm going to call my Christmas gift this year. Full aluminum trailer, but it squats. Driven by hydraulics and in a battery. And the entire thing sits on the ground. No ramps needed. And by the way, the world record holder for the fastest stick shift S2000 ever makes over 2,000 horsepower on this short of a wheelbase. This is epic.
Part throttle.
They're back up saying, hey man, no, we gotta add some fuel. How else can we confirm this? Look at your narrow bands. You see this ditch here? And the O2s are going, hey dude, we're really lean. Going, no, add the fuel back in.
At this point in the class for day 2, I don't know how I worked this out, but I was lucky enough to be chosen as the one to be the one driving or operating the car on the dyno. I have never done anything like this before, so I just faked that I had before. So we did a lot of adjustments on the fuel trims by changing up the mass airflow, and it's looking a lot better so far. I know you guys can't see the screen, but it looks a lot better.
You can get out of first pretty quick. Take it through second.
And hold that forward?
Yeah, and just take it up moving forward for like
And at
5
this
seconds.
point, I'm just thinking to myself, please don't stall on the dyno in front of all these experts. Oh, we're out of first. We're good. And just pretend like we know what we're doing. Yep, just nice and easy.
That means we can get there. Fourth instead.
All right, fourth gear. Was just over 500. That one was 616. 10 degrees spark advance. That's all.
That.
That's where
Good.
he's
You
sitting.
guys cool with that?
So you just move spark 10%.
All right, perfect. 2, I think.
Yep, that's like
Sounds
starting.
about right.
Yep, got it.
Pretty good. 62% for ID1000s. These guys are right.
Now, call me naive, but I've never really understood how much was going on during these dyno runs. You see me grab the remote, hit that red button, which releases the brake on the dyno. Now, this allows me to put it in first gear, begin rolling, but it's such a weird sensation because you really can't tell as you slip that clutch when the tires actually start turning because you don't go anywhere. Now, this particular run is going to be in 4th gear, so we're going to slowly get up to 4th. And once we're in 4th gear, we're going to go wide open throttle from about 2,500 to 6,000 RPM. But I have to grab the remote, hit that green button first for the dyno to start registering. And you'll also see my head turning back and forth there because during all of this, we're keeping an eye on the air-fuel ratio meter you see on the left side of the dash. 14.7 to 1 is stoichiometric, or where we would like to be for that ratio. Anything above that, we're running lean, which can harm the engine, so we would have to get out of the throttle if we saw it go too high. In addition to this, once you complete that run, you have to fight the urge to touch that brake pedal, but instead hit the red button on the remote, which applies the dyno brake. I messed that up the first time.
I get used to this, guys.
Wow! It really wants that spark.
623 torque.
everything.
So we topped that at what?
But the truth is, you would really want to get used to the new one.
It's a little bit more than your small block
I can solve
350
this
made
in
back
2
in the day,
holes.
didn't it?
Just
And I know
slightly.
this is
Top
right.
speed was 110.
You want to go back 10
675 horsepower.
He wants to pull the spark back
On a
down to
dyno,
safe value, which
Pro
was
Charge C6.
12.
Never done anything like that
12.
before, and I got to do
And he wants to, we did
like
here,
8
so
dyno
11,
runs, 9
8.
dyno runs. Apparently, if you wear the
Nothing.
earplugs, you can hear knock a little bit better, but
It's a light.
this is fun.
Run it up that
This is very fun. I like this. Oh yeah. Well guys, this is Justin with HP Tuners. He's the reason I'm out here. Connected me with Bob. I've learned a ton. And it's like going to school for subjects I actually want to learn, which is rare for me because I hated school. But thank you both so much for having me out. This has been amazing. And we got more coming because we have Corvette Museum takeover tonight and then LS Fest starting tomorrow. So we got a ton more, but thank you again guys. Both of you guys. Great to meet you both. I tuned that car. Kind of.
Yeah, you did.
I
Couple times.
I explored it on the dyno. My goodness, guys, what a time. I haven't been excited to go to school ever in my life, to be honest, but this is something I was excited to go. I have some tools, I have some knowledge, and I have some vehicles that I can apply all of this to the LS1 and the C5 Corvette. The 5.3 liter and my 2007 Silverado are direct applications of what we have learned here today. In addition, they offer an LT class, which actually starts on Monday. I cannot attend that class because we have some soccer games this weekend, but regardless, there is LT applications as well. So the LT4 and the ZL1 Camaro, the LT-based engine, and a 2020 Trail Boss are more applications to apply all of this knowledge and skills and technology to refine that tune of the car that you're driving, because when manufacturers like GM build and tune their vehicles, they'll tune them so they will work well, regardless if you're living in northern Alaska or South Texas. There's a lot of opportunity to refine how that car runs dependent on the environment that it actually drives in. Thank you again to not only HP Tuners, but the Tuning School. I will link them in the description below. This has been truly phenomenal. I'm stoked. Dad, you like that?
I loved it. It was good stuff.
Nothing's better than a good carburetor, right?
Oh, well, not anymore.
But our adventure here in Bowling Green, Kentucky is far from over. We have Corvette takeover at the Corvette Museum tonight, and tomorrow the first day of LS Fest East, which apparently blows Texas out of the water. So we'll see you guys at the Corvette Museum. All right guys, we made it out. Holly LS Fest East, first time ever being here. This is day 1 of 3 out here at LS Fest East. This is the only day we can attend, so we gotta hit the road tonight, but here's a fun little montage of our time here. And these guys have some serious trailers out here, which means serious rides. I guess we did learn something in that class.
Yeah.
So, fun fact, C8s from the factory, I think he's at 27 degrees of spark advance, and they knock. Fairly bad from factory. This blue C8's run twice, and each time you've been able to see that puff of smoke from the back, which they explained in class is a pretty big sign that there's knocking going on. I also want to mention this is a Holly event, and what hat are you wearing there? HP Tuners, yeah. I spy with my little eye a C5 Corvette in a field. Well guys, heading back to the parking lot. We got a heck of a drive to make starting now. So the boys have a soccer game in approximately 14 hours. We got 12 hours to get home. Wish us luck. Hopefully you do not see me until we're home. So we'll just go with that. Let's hit the road. All right boys, 5:05 a.m. We made pretty good time. Got here in under 12 hours. Just dropped Dad off at home. Heading home now. The good news is we beat the soccer game. I'm gonna get a good night's rest of probably 2 hours by the time I get home. What a freaking trip. I love doing adventures like this with my dad, being able to hop into an uncomfortable car that's slightly unreliable and make it all the way. What an adventure.